Welcome back, friends, to TV5 News at 9. It's time now for Design Time. Make sure you get your cell phone out. There is a QR code right there on your screen, and you can get all of the information about today's topic. And we're talking about designing your home to look professional. We love it. So we're here with Kathy Kilborn at Tri-City Furniture in Auburn. How are you, Kathy?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good. Okay, so talk to us. Give us some details on how we can make our homes look professionally designed when we're novices.
With a lot of people want that design look, and designers understand the spatial setup and the size of things, color. So when you're trying to do it yourself, there are a couple things that you could do specifically because it's the same thing a designer would do.
Okay.
Lots of times we just want to look for a piece that we like. But one of the main things would be to make a floor plan, and we lots of times go to people's homes and measure the space so we know how much space there is, but how the walkways are, where their focal points are, and we consider all of those things before we're actually putting that room together. So the floor plan is probably the best. It's like a road map, and it helps us know where we're going to go to get the best room that we want. And so the key is not only the pieces, but one thing I think people forget about is the comfort. And if you get a room that isn't comfortable, it's really useless.
Yeah, and you seem to talk about comfort a lot. That's important.
Yes, comfort to me is your number one. We want a good look, and we can do that with a million different pieces. But the comfort, fitting you in those pieces is a really, really important thing because, again, if I'm not comfortable in the space, I won't use the space. So comfort, we have to start with fitting who's going to use that room.
Okay, so let's get started. What do we need to do?
Well, the first thing will be the road map, which is the floor plan, and I did a couple here. We show you maybe there's a kitchen and a walk path. This one happens to have a dining room. But we'll make different options so that we can see what might work best in that space. Many people put a sofa and a chair in because when they bought the house, that's what they saw. But maybe a sectional and a couple of chairs actually work better. So the floor plans give you those visions before you buy something.
Okay, so you have the plan and then you select your pieces.
Yes, and usually you start with the biggest to the smallest. So you might want to focus on the sofa and then add the chairs and then add the other things in the space. Because each piece you pick helps narrow in the accents that you'll need to put with it. When you just look at one thing, it's really hard to come up with that whole plan. So having the floor plan and then working on individual pieces really makes it much easier.
Okay, so we have the plan, the pieces are comfortable, we make sure they're comfortable. Now we look at the fabrics, is that right?
Absolutely. So fabric doesn't come in until we know which pieces. So I've pulled a few. You might decide you want a neutral sofa, and then these might be some options for chairs or for accent pillows. The correct direction of putting a room together is picking your fabric and pieces first. Then you go to your flooring, maybe a hard surface, maybe carpet. And the last thing we pick is the paint. The paint is the hardest one to pick, but if I know the tones I'm working with, it's much easier to pick a paint. Now when you install, you reverse. You paint first, put the floor down, and then you bring the furniture in. But many people pick paint and flooring and then they try to figure out the furniture. There are many colors today that are not what I call furniture colors. And if you get into those, it's much more difficult to add the furniture because the toning will be incorrect.
Okay, anything else we need to consider?
Well, once you have all of this, have that road map, the whole thing works good. I always tell people to maybe work with a professional because if you're not going to do this room all at one time, maybe you're going to work on it over the next year or two, they will help you not purchase things that might get you in a corner because things are constantly changing. And we want to make sure when we start to when we end gives us that perfect room. But the thing is that if you do things a little over time, sometimes you get out of a trend or a color palette and makes it really difficult. The other thing is, and this is the thing many people, they stop after they buy the furniture, it's the details. So when I look in this room, it's the artwork, the pillows, the vases, the lamps, all of those things are the jewelry of the room, and they're the thing that really makes the difference in having a room that looks professionally done compared to just buying a sofa and a chair. So don't forget the details.
Oh, don't forget the details and the comfort. Great tips, valuable tips to help us make our homes look professionally designed. Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. And thank you for watching this edition of Design Time.